I'm totally calm, standing in front of you. Not nervous at all. I've seen you before. Just putting the elephant in the room out there. Okay, real talk. Love, romance, and sex. Real talk, Cologne. I'm gonna bring you something now because I was asked by the organizer, please bring a personal story. Please bring one, really personal one. Are you sure? Yeah, okay. So I started to dig in my mind and think, okay, I mean, personal stories, I do tell stories, but personal stories, really personal story. And then I was thinking Germany, and then I got one. So do you want to go personal today? Yes. Okay, no judgment. Just love. Although I'm Swedish. Right? Okay, love, romance, and sex. The three forces that can lift any human being up to the level of super achievement. If you combine the three forces, you, according to writers, authors, psychologists such as Napoleon Hill and etc., can reach the level of a genius. However, it hasn't always been the greatest pleasure. So let me just ask you a little question before I kick in. How many of you are in a loving, living, and lively relationship right now? Wow, okay. That was more than I expected. Should maybe not talk. How many of you are single? Be proud. That's almost half the room as well. Okay, how many are still Tindering? Awesome, thank you. Okay. I moved back to, Europe. I was in China, say 2012. Me and my German girlfriend living the La Vida Loca, working over there, and we're moving back to Europe because we discovered, surprisingly, that China is different. It is really different. They don't just talk or eat differently over there, they do everything different. So we said, let's go home, and at the same time, my mom and dad started to knock this door saying, when are you gonna settle down? Your younger brother is having a baby. So I said, okay, let's go back to Europe. So we said, I go to Germany, said my girlfriend. I go to London, where we want to start working. London, as you know, is super cheap. You can just stay there, anything like this. So I, of course, stayed in hostels for the next month, trying to find a job over there. Got one, I got a few, and then one morning I'm living in my hostel bed. I remember there's this Korean guy up top in this 4-bed bunk bedroom, and he's of course wanted to know everything about London and Chelsea and Liverpool and all this stuff, and I wanted to go to sleep. And I get a text message. One of these text messages that says, hi, I need space. That was I need space. It was 3 letters, and I was like, well, you're in Berlin, I'm in London, that is space. Now, just a little tip, which I can say that I've learned, that when a woman says she needs space, she needs space. But I wasn't so smart at that time. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm feeling something here. There's something in this text message. What do you need? What do you mean, honey? I just, I don't know if, I just need some space for me, Okay, no problem. I go to work the next day. I'm working in one of the banks, and I remember working next to a very big woman from Rwanda. Super African, mama, really we grinding the work. And at one point she looks at me and goes, son, what's wrong with you? I'm like, for some reason, I got this message from my girlfriend. I need space. She's like, son, do you love her? Yes, of course I do. No. I mean, would you marry her? Yes, I would. Son, then you know what to do. I'm like, yes. And I go back to work, and she's like, did you not hear me? And I'm standing over there just like, yes, I heard you. I know what to do. No. She is looking for someone who's going to man up and make a decision now. Oh, okay. Told you, not so smart at that time. And so I'm standing there thinking, all right, okay. I go into I finish the shift. I call my manager and said, okay, I gotta leave. I'm going to Berlin. What? Yeah, I'm going to Berlin. You just started. Yes, I know. But it's my love. I gotta go. Give it 2 weeks and contact me later, okay? I'm like, okay. I'm going home to my room, my little pocket square room in London, which I share with 5 other people in a flat. And I packed my stuff, and at that time I have 3 toys, one of these teddy bears. And they have been with me for like 10 years on my journeys. But I pack all my stuff and I forget my 3 toys. I go to the airport, and I take a one-way flight to Berlin. Now, just a disclaimer, I have never been in Berlin before. I speak a little bit German, and I borrowed 200 euros from my brother to do it. My brother was, what? Why do you want to go to Berlin? I mean, I need to go there. Okay. So I arrive into Berlin, checking in another hostel in Prenzlauer Berg, and I'm figuring out via her father that, okay, so she will be returning from her family house to ZOB, it's called, right? And at 3 o'clock. So I'm calling her, I say, okay, can I be there at 3 o'clock and pick you up? She's like, what? Are you not in London? No, I decided to move to Berlin for you, for us. And she was so happy. This is not the moment when I would say that I'm smiling. I'm really standing there because I hear that she's not so happy. And she agrees at one point, okay, I will be there at 3 o'clock. You can meet me then, it's okay. All right. I remember that I'm running to an interview first. So I'm dressing up in a suit, running to Potsdamer Platz, interview. On the way to the ZOB, I'm like thinking, maybe I should buy a pair of roses to her. I don't know how many, so I go in and asking in kind of a broken German, wie viele Rosen haben Sie für eine Freundin? And, I mean, it was pretty good, right? But she understood me. And she was like, okay, buy one, it's okay. Is it? I don't know. So I buy one, and I'm in a gray suit. I'm running to the subway. But this is like the 4th day in Berlin or something. I have no idea what this ZOB Fernbusstelle is. So I'm running into 2 police officers, and they're looking at me like this. Do you know where the Fernbus stop is? Which one? The one, something ZOB. Yeah, you just take this on. And then you go like this. Good luck. I was like, really? Okay. I'm rushing into the subway, I'm arriving in ZOB. So now I'm coming in a suit, ZOB, rose in my hand. Everyone is like, oh, this is like, oh my God, this is so good, right? And I'm shaking. I have never been so nervous. This is nothing compared to how nervous I was at that point. And I'm arriving to the ZOB. I'm seeing that the bus is 5 minutes delayed. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And I'm standing and looking at the arrival screen. And of course, I'm seeing how everybody around me is standing looking at me. And the bus pulls in. People start moving out to greet their loved ones. Now, this is the moment where I'm like, okay, yeah, exactly. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I walked in and I see her exit the bus. And I'm like, whew. And for some reason, I get this brilliant idea that in my suit and in my rose, I walk up to her. I look up to her and like, I'm here. And she walks down and goes, get up, what are you doing? Get up, come here right now. And I am completely confused. I thought I was doing something nice. And she's like, you're embarrassing me, come here. So we start walking to the subway. And like, you shouldn't have come. I knew I shouldn't have let you come. I'm like, but I'm here. You needed space, but I needed to show you that what I really meant, what it said. And this African woman in London, she said that. The conversation kept going until the entire U-Bahn ride to close their place because they said, okay, I want you to stay here, go to wherever you are, I will contact you. I'm like, oh, that was not what I expected. So I remember going back to my hostel, and I checking into this 4-bed bunk bed thing, and I sit down and just, like, what the fuck just happened? I have no clue. And this is the point where nothing made sense. My mind was like a hurricane. My heart felt like somebody stomped on it and made waffles of it. I don't know. So I just, okay, you know what? I'm in Berlin. I got about 150 euros left, and I have my suitcase right there. What's the next thing I should do? Well, get a job. Could be a good start. Get a room, get somewhere to stay. And I start. Hey, my name is Erik. I have like 5 years of experience. I have a master's degree, blah, 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 blah. And people are like, oh, that's so amazing, but you know, we have other candidates. And that kept going on for a bit. And at one point, I go to networking events. They're like, hey, who are you? What are you doing? Oh, I'm Erik. You know, I've been working in China. Cool. Yeah. So what are you doing? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a marketing manager. I'm a PhD student. Cool. What do you really do? I don't know. Oh, you know how it goes. And at one point, I remember my brother was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I'm a bit sad. And he's like, you know what, I'm gonna come down to Berlin. This is the first time my brother actually visits me abroad, and I moved abroad when I was 19 years old. I'm 27 right now. So he comes, and he sees, literally, he walks up to me and says, like, you're not that good. Well, that's an understatement, but yeah, it's true. So I spent some time with my brother, and I finally started to actually talk about real personal stuff with him. And then he goes home, and in the same period, my best friend comes down to see me as well. And they go like, dude, just be honest. Just be honest. It's not that good right now. That's true. And the day after my best friend left, I remember I walked into an interview on Potsdamer Platz. We all sitting down around the table, about 8 people, and here's the person who's going to interview us all. So, hey, who are you? What are you doing? What are you here? What would you like to get? I'm listening to all these beautiful things that you got a master's degree, you got a bachelor's degree, you are right now working as an assistant manager for a production firm. Everything's super cool, and they get to me. And this is the first time you know what, my name is Erik. I moved to Berlin because I got a text message from my girlfriend saying that she needed space. I was in London, and for some reason, I can't. I want to come here. I want to stay in my relationship with her, so I'm looking for a job right now. Guess what happened? Every single one in the room went like this. What? Wow, how did you do that? You cannot just like do this. Wow, okay, so what are you looking at? And suddenly it was like a light flip went up in my mind, just like, wait, suddenly people actually wanted to help me. Suddenly people wanted to listen to me. And I started to realize, why am I lying? I am not good. I was sad. But I'm here, I'm standing here looking for a job, and I'm here because this is why I'm here. So I still remember how the lady who was interviewing us, she goes, okay, yeah, Erik, I don't think there's a job here for you, but I actually looking for an assistant working with me. Let me talk to my manager and see if we can work that out. 1 week later, she got me a job that was not announced, published, or whatsoever, but she got me that job. She got me a job where I was to work in all the 5-star hotels and restaurants and banquets in Berlin, checking in teams, going into people and making sure that they had like a good time. And I knew I didn't like that job, but I gave myself a task. I will make sure that I know every damn manager in this place so that I can move on. From that moment forward, I started to do this one thing. I told the truth and the brutal truth. Today, people tell me that I'm intense. Okay, I might be intense sometimes, but it's there. And it was that moment, from that moment, things started to change. I changed that job later on, the same way. I told the truth. I've been working for a service company. I'm coming here. I'm still waiting for my girlfriend to get back to me. She is getting back to me sometimes, like once a month. I waited for 5 months until one day in December, I realized there was something like, seriously, Erik, she obviously doesn't want to be with you anymore? Surprise? Okay, let's move on then. I remember when I met my ex-girlfriend, I told her the truth. She was so willing to listen and she was there. That's how we started to bond. From that moment on, I started to do, act, and feel in a way that was completely different because I started to be personal about my business. I started to be personal about what I was saying. And now, I build a brand, a community, a business around one thing, connecting humans. That's the one thing I call it. And it's taking off. Right now, it is around 90 countries in the world who has the same feeling. You know what? That you're a marketing manager is fantastic. I just don't know what it really means and what you do. Sorry, and I definitely don't know you. That you're an entrepreneur, that's super cool. But what are you doing? How is it really going? What are you looking for? What could somebody possibly help you with? The one thing that I realized then, and what I know for certain right now, the major reason why people do not achieve their dreams, goals, or objectives in their lives is for one thing and one thing only. They're trying to do it alone. Asking for help today is like, why should we ask for help? So today, when I was asked here to talk about inclusiveness, I just, this is brilliant. Yes, that and brilliant. That brilliant. Because if you want to experience genuine love, romance, and sex, you can't lie. Living a lie is not going to help. Not in the long term. Where fear and reward is a management style, forget connection. It works and you can see it a lot, but how is it really working in the long term? Where failures is not an option because you're trying to be bulletproof and perfect, yay, good luck, ladies and gentlemen. In the human experience, you're perfect in your own imperfections. I call it, you're flawsome. And from there on, I'm saying, tell the truth. Be personal. Now, there's one thing that people tell me, and now I have been given talks about this from Kuala Lumpur to Dublin. And there's one thing that comes back at me all the time. Yeah, but Erik, nobody wants to hear about personal stuff. Nobody has time for that. Nobody cares. Does it ring a bell? Have you heard it? Have you been thinking it? I've been. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't right now walk into the street and be like, so I have a problem because, boo. No. And you can also see that there are people out there that are taking advantage of this. They're like, oh my God, I got diabetes and then I have this and this. Like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sprinkle your own personal lives into whatever you do. How many of you, in a show of hands, have ever in your life made someone else sad, angry, or disappointed? Okay, the one who's not holding up your hand right now, I would like to talk to you. All right, let's do another task. Let's go a little bit deeper. How many of you have ever felt, how many of you have ever felt rejected, stuck, or completely freaking useless? Oh, look at that. I'm not alone. All right, are you ready for another one? How many of you have been laughing so hard that you're like crying, you can't take it anymore? How many of you have been madly in love? And how many of you have had steaming sex? All right, there was a few hands there, so we gotta work on that. But, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta work on that. How many of you would like to have it again? Exactly. In the human experience, it will be there again the more you are opening up to it. But as long as you're trying to be bulletproof and perfect and professional and all that stuff, you're literally closing the door to it. Have you ever made a genuine connection to someone who wasn't personal? Someone who just like, no, I don't want to talk about myself. I don't want to say anything. Let's talk about you. I want to talk about all the stuff that is going on at work. Business is personal. The more emotionally invested you are in something, the less critical you will become. Wait, let me just repeat that. The more emotionally invested you are, the less critical you become. This is because just of the 3 questions that I asked you, these topics in themselves increase a hormone within you called oxytocin. That hormone on its own increases your bonding, your trust, your generosity to one another. And those who are way smarter in this than me says, once you increase those levels, a person is about 80% more likely to buy into whatever you say or whatever you do. So why on earth are we not talking more about it? So tell the truth. Be personal. Connection is this one thing that we are all hardwired for. Connection is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. So to be inclusive, the way I'm seeing that in my life, starts with me to be inclusive to myself, telling the truth to myself first, versus asking others to tell me the truth. Inclusive is to create time, care, and connect to one another, to the humans behind those fancy job titles that literally means shit these days, and business cards, and online profiles that look so flashy today. University degrees, company names. Connect with the humans behind them. Whatever you do, I will bet my little black ass on that you will make much more connections, you will make meaningful relationships, and there will be someone who will hold your shoulder when you need to. So when you're living today, could you please sprinkle a little bit of personal stuff into your conversations? It doesn't have to be much. You just sprinkle it a little bit more there. And just imagine for a split second what you could achieve, feel, and be if you just allowed yourself to be human. There was once upon a time in a land way far from here, there was a curious man, a church, and a basket. That curious man was curious enough to walk up to that basket who sat on that church step and look inside that basket. Inside that basket was a child. No one today knows who that man was, not even where the church was. But there are many that know that the land was Colombia, the city was Medellin, and the child, and it's not so little anymore, is standing right in front of you right now. And I've been lying the shit out of that story for so long in my life that I'm just came here to tell you the truth. So Cologne, Cologne, are you going to sprinkle a little bit of personal stuff as of now? I didn't hear anything. Are you sprinkling a little bit of your personal stuff in your business, in your private life, in your home, when you go and playing football, when you're watching TV, when you're having a beer? Please say yes. Yes. Well then, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So I couldn't ask for a better talk. What I feel why we should meet every month just for a small morning, 1.5 hours. It's my Cologne family here, and this talk was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone? Question?
Please be personal.
Yeah, Emma.
Hi.
Hey.
It was amazing. I just have a question actually for you, because you described yourself as intense, and I really like that word. I was just wondering, because now you live in Berlin, or you are going anyway. When you were in Berlin, there are some culture that they are quite reserved, and in China probably you found the same. So I was just wondering, how do you kind of get to, because you are so
Cool.
intense, and then you find the culture which is quite reserved. So how do you actually face?
But it's nice and not
We are so personal.
No, but thank you for opening the question. The one question that I receive literally every time. There are countries, cultures, religions that are, you need to be like this. But here's the thing. The more human you are to yourself and the way you act, the more human you will connect with the other person. And regardless if they want it or not, this is the one thing that I have observed and tested myself. I can go in right now. I'm being booked many times to speak for companies and conferences about social media and businesses, about how to be more personal. And in the business context, it's a big debate between personal and professional. But they have already recognized that there's something within that. And when we're talking about oxytocin, for instance, I'm using storytelling, I'm using these hormones as tools. It doesn't matter. I can talk to you, and I can talk to you, and I will be personal to you, and I can start trigger some points in here. And even if you're sitting in this audience right now and feeling this, no. It means I already hit something in you. I already triggered something in that person who made him or her go, So you are hitting on that personal, that human in there. So the more human you are, the more you will get. But here's the one thing too. We all make our decisions based on instinct and emotions. Everyone won't like you. I tried. So just forget it. Do your thing, and the people that will resonate, the people that want to work with you or be with you will come. And they will come quicker, they will come stronger than when we're trying to pretend or use other things to validate ourselves. So when for instance, I liked when I was in Malaysia and did the talk. They were like, no, but in Malaysia, we don't do this. I'm like, really? And we did a little test on this. And of course they are sitting there exactly like you. Yes, I want genuine love. I want to be respected, trusted. I want that. Don't you? There you go.
Just one question, because we're running a little bit out of time, but go.
So how are you actually dealing with when you open up to people and everything and you being human, but yet also on the other hand you're being attacked and your energy is getting sucked? Like how you deal with that? Or is there quite maybe too much open, or so that's
I would say there's always this way of there's too much of things, right? First of all, I would say it comes with doing it. You will experience how you flow with it and how you resonate. Like, I know that now, I've been touching your shoulder. I've been kind of sensing that, okay, it's okay. I know for some, this is not okay. I've been called out in companies to give the Spanish kiss. I live in Barcelona, by the way. And the Spanish kiss, I've been called out for that. Like, you can't give the Spanish kiss here. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. That was just hello. But this is true. This is happening. It's just about adjusting. But it doesn't mean, and you said being sucked away, right?
Yes.
That just means you're with the wrong people.
Right.
Yeah. For that one, you just have to be honest to yourself. Like, take a step that way. And for any more questions, I will be around here afterwards and have more waffles with the ladies in the back. So